Hello everyone, my name is Nina, this is Nicholas. We are translators from Brazil and we are translating several books from English and Spanish into Portuguese relating to the rejuvenation area. And today we're going to talk with David Wood, who is the writer of the book The Abolition of Aging that we are launching now in March of 2020 here in Brazil in a Portuguese version. So David, can you please present yourself?
Thank you so much for inviting me on to this interview. I have been in my professional life a smartphone technologist. I worked in software for 25 years. For the last 12 years, I have run a group in London called London Futurists, where we have often looked at ideas for how human situation might change quite radically in the not too distant future. In that time, I often had speakers talking about possible wonderful changes in health span, that there may be technological interventions that could effectively lead to the abolition of aging. So a few years ago, I decided to write down these ideas, my own understanding of them, and that led to the book, The Abolition of Aging, which has received lots of very positive feedback.
Well, let me present myself. My name is Nicholas, as Nina told you. And I would like to ask Dave about the beginning of your journey in the rejuvenation area. What made you be interested in the first place in this area? Can you explain a little more of this beginning?
First of all, my background in the high technology field showed me that remarkable changes were possible as a result of technology. I saw that after a long period of disappointment, when smartphones weren't initially successful, then there was a rapid breakthrough and more people discovered more features of smartphones. And they changed, as a result, many aspects of how they were spending their work, their life, their education, their play, their entertainment. And I realized that similar transformations could be possible in many other fields of life, that we could reprogram not so much our silicon devices, but eventually we could reprogram our own biology. I believe that all people, in fact, have got an innate interest in this possibility. All of us, when we are young, have a moment of shock when we realize that our parents and grandparents and friends and eventually ourselves face the prospect of death. And many of us think in those moments, it would be good if this didn't happen to us. So we have that initial desire to go beyond what nature has given. At the same time, we have another set of ideas in our mind that's wanting to live longer is selfish or immature, and that we need to come to terms with dying. So all of us, I think, have these two personalities in our mind at the same time. And most people suppress the desire to live longer and bow to social pressures to look forward to death in some ways, not to accelerate it, but to prepare for it. However, when I encountered people such as Aubrey de Grey and Alex Zavaronkov and many others who spoke about the potential for biological interventions, I thought, actually, this makes a lot of sense. It addresses a deep desire within human life, a deep desire within human nature, and it has plausibility to it. At least it seemed to be plausible. So I decided to research some more. I decided to address two fundamental questions. One, is this set of interventions really possible? And secondly, are they desirable? Because many people actually say, if it were possible to extend lifespan a lot, we shouldn't do it. It would be bad in some ways for humanity, bad for the planet. So these two big questions, can we do it and should we do it, were the starting point for my own research. And I wrote the book, The Abolition of Aging, to try and provide accessible but comprehensive answers to both these two big questions.